All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Mojo Story. My name is Harshit Sharma, and I have been joined by Mr. Ashish Nambiar today. Before I move to Ashish and discuss the topic which we are here to discuss today, I would like to inform you all about why we are here today. On 10th of November at Azim Premji University's Bengaluru rural campus, a student named Ashwin Nambiar committed suicide. Unfortunately, he committed suicide for various reasons, which are being referred as stress or multiple reasons. We'll know in detail about them by Ashish. Ashish happens to be Ashwin's brother, and for past few days, Ashish has been claiming on his social media platform that the Azim Premji University's administration did not bother to do a proper communication with Ashwin's family about the whole incident, about Ashwin committing suicide for any particular reason. Ashish, welcome to Mojo Story. Thank you for joining us. We are very sorry for your loss, but these incidents have been, I would rather say, they are increasing at an alarming rate. The suicides among the students for various particular reasons, all of them leading to stress prominently. And here we have another incident of suicide. So yes, we are sorry for your loss, but before we move ahead for any particular thing which we want to discuss, I would like to know from you, why did this happen?
Um, I think there are multiple reasons. He was, first of all, quite depressed. Um, and, when a person is depressed, I'd like to think that there are multiple situations that lead up to, taking this drastic decision of actually taking one's life. But I think, once you look into the facts, I think there are a couple of things that contribute towards it. Like he was depressed, yes, multiple things can contribute towards the depression. But when someone takes their life, the question is what is the tipping point, and what ultimately leads to them taking that plunge and taking their life. And I think that Azim Premji University has a strong role to play in this. They had initiated a disciplinary committee inquiry on my brother on the claims that he had smoked. Their only evidence is that he had cigarettes on him, uh, and he was a smoker. But like they claim that he smoked on campus grounds. And I believe that the disciplinary committee and their inquiry and all of that was, first of all, it was none of the details have been shared. Nobody knows who's the committee members. All of that. So I think they really went after him. The university, even though they claim compassion is the thing that drives them and how they educate their students, I feel like they have not been compassionate. And yeah, I mean, they went after my brother, and ultimately my brother was completely broken. So yeah.
Ashish, we have been going through your social media handles for the past few days now, and you have been prominently raising this issue that there was no proper communication made to you and your family about this whole incident. You have written one of your posts on social media that you were not aware that this whole incident took place till 17 days, and you later got to know through some other resources. Would you please like to explain it to us?
So I mean, I'd like to say that, well, we were aware as soon as my brother took his life, his friends or whatever came and told us about all of these kind of situations happening. So we were aware that disciplinary committee inquiry had been initiated against him, and they were trying to take disciplinary action against him. Now the problem is we didn't know through official channels. Um, the situation is that you see, they initiated the inquiry lasted a while, and then when they gave the verdict, they did not share it with us, because the claim is that ultimately that their interaction is completely with the students. Now I think that's fundamentally problematic in and of itself, because I think the disciplinary committee knew he's like very, very depressed. He's like very seriously depressed. He was taking help, he was making progress, and this was the tipping point. So they initiated a inquiry against him. So we did not know, while they were like investigating him, while they had the disciplinary committee actually met and accused him of things that he did not do. This is my belief, obviously, but you cannot accuse someone without evidence, and a pack of cigarettes is not the claim that he smoked on campus. So they accused him of a couple of things. So we did not know while the inquiry was happening. We did not know after the verdict was given. Now, what really I think affects us really badly is the fact that a couple of days after the verdict was given, he took his life. Now, when the family wants to know what are the circumstances under which someone, especially for my parents, their son has taken their life.
You recently told me that there was some issue regarding smoking inside the campus,
Yes,
and
yes.
Ashwin was allegedly held guilty for smoking inside the campus, and 2 days after he was held guilty, he committed suicide. That is what you were telling me.
So see, again, the timelines are not very clear because obviously the university has not shared any of these proceedings. They think they believe it should be confidential. I mean, it's strange after someone has taken their life, the least you can do is give us clarity about what happened. But what I am aware of is the fact that he was, first of all, they raided the hostel floors, so they went into everybody's rooms because they couldn't tell who smoked. There was no evidence, there's no CCTV evidence, anything. So they get into the rooms. They find a box of cigarettes on my brother. He's a smoker. Yes, he's an adult. He's a smoker, and but they found cigarettes on him. I think they found cigarettes on some other few people or whatever. But they called them into a disciplinary committee inquiry, and they ultimately. Their only evidence is that there's a pack of cigarettes, and the disciplinary committee inquiry supposedly consists of faculty and management. There was no one to defend him, and he's serially depressed, so he's made to defend himself, and they accused him a bunch of things without obviously any solid evidence. And I think ultimately a week or so later, this is just the timelines are fuzzy because nobody knows for real what happened, but a week later they gave around a week or so later they gave the verdict, and he took his life, I think a day or two after that. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, let us just neglect the timeline. But what I'm more
Yeah.
concerned about is even if he was held guilty for smoking inside the campus, even if he was held guilty for breaking the rules,
Yeah.
was the punishment that brutal that the circumstances led him to take his life, or there were some other reasons? I mean, it takes a lot for somebody to take his life,
Yeah.
and being held guilty for smoking, you're admitting that he was a smoker, that is not an issue. But even if he broke any rule by smoking inside the campus, was the punishment that brutal that he was compelled to take his life?
It's not. It's not. It's obviously in the backdrop. I don't know if you've read the other news pieces or whatever, but there were other circumstances where like the academics in general was such that it's a new program, the mathematics program at Azim Premji University, and I think there was a particular course in which the professor was known to fail at least consistently a 50% of the students, literally half the classroom. um, and I think, like, basically because of which he was unable to pass, and he was depressed also. And he was already on a year, he was repeating a year at Azim Premji University. And that, I mean, which is why I would like to also raise the point that um, in a course, basically, see, I'm willing to accept that, okay, ultimately, if my brother was the only one failing consistently, like, okay, maybe there's something to reflect on. This is not just bad marks, it's actually a person is being made to fail. Now, if it was just him, I would have been like, okay, he needs to probably do something about this. But 50% of like people failing is just absurd. It's either the seems like the faculty has a serious issue, or the course is like not properly structured. But it's very strange because ultimately, after my brother took his life, a lot of the students who thought they were failing ended up passing because they ended up restructuring the grades so that they would pass all these students. So it's a very crazy concept for me. It's like, you're really not paying attention to either whether there's a problem with the faculty, whether there's a problem with the course, who's going to take account of all of this. Nobody is. My brother was very, very depressed, so yeah.
And the university parallelly has been saying, Ashish, on their social media platforms that there was a mental health cell which was inside the university. There were counselors inside the university who used to speak to the children, who used to somehow, counsel the students who were somehow suffering from poor mental health. Was that the case with Ashwin, or were you aware of some kind of? Because you've been an alumnus there, you studied from the same university, if I'm not wrong.
Absolutely, yeah. So I mean, if I'm very clear, like, I think, so. For instance, Azim Premji University has had counselors throughout. During my time, the counseling system failed. All of the students called out the counselors. There were a lot of problems. Basically, there were issues of like, of them not maintaining confidentiality, being very casual with their approach, all of that. And the claim was that apparently they restructured their counseling services. Now, see, my brother ultimately, when he initially felt that he was very depressed, he went to the counselor. He sought help. I think he was not able to make much progress because I don't know what is the issue with with universities and their counseling services, but I think they do not give the relief or do not perform well enough to give the relief that students need. So my brother, I think he bit the bullet and he just basically straight up to confessed to my mother that he had depression and he needs treatment. So he did seek treatment
Oh.
ultimately outside. um, and I guess the university did its best or whatever, by providing counselors. They do that. um, but he was unable to, he made progress, but there were a couple of things that pushed him over
But the
the limit.
university counselors were not of much help for Ashwin. That's what you've been telling us.
Yeah, I mean, in
Yeah.
terms of absolute results, not much of help for Ashwin, and I think other students also. They're not too happy with how things are on campus.
All right, Ashish. If I try to conclude the whole conversation and the whole unfortunate incident which we have been discussing here for past 10 to 15 minutes, I can sum up the whole conversation in 2 points. Please correct me if I'm wrong. First thing is there that Ashwin committed suicide on 10th of November. There are
Yeah.
various reasons behind it that you have been telling us. One is that smoking incident, which the university says he was found guilty for smoking inside the university campus. And the other one was that mathematics, the course which you have been particularly discussing, that there is something which needs to be done about that course particularly, and he was also repeating a particular year. So there must have been some pressure on him for
Yeah.
scoring good and getting good grades marks. But besides that, Ashish, do you feel that there has been some negligence from the university and the administration as well? If that negligence was not there, Ashwin could have been saved, the things could have been made better, because you have been completely for a period of time you have been telling the whole media that there was no official
Yeah.
communication through any
Absolutely.
email to the family that this incident has happened. Secondly, the mathematics course which you have been telling us, there are things which needs to be corrected about that particular course, and the counselors as well, they were not of much use to Ashwin. Obviously the university had the counselor for the sake of it, but do
Yeah.
you believe that there were some things which could have been made better on the administration's end, and the things could have been different today?
See, the university tries to, sell their mandate and basically get students by saying that they're compassionate. They want to build a compassionate society. The problem is, I don't think they're actually being compassionate in true practice. I can highlight this by saying that the whole disciplinary committee process was just absurd. They were completely secretive about it. During the course of the disciplinary committee process, see, my brother is serially depressed, and that has been communicated to them. The From what I understand, they have told both his faculty, his mentors, and Ashwin that you cannot share details of the disciplinary committee to either of your friends, or they've told the mentor that you cannot inform the family, which is very, very absurd. Someone is serially depressed. So first of all, that's the thing. When the verdict came out, they did not share it with the family. They only told my brother what the situation was. You cannot share this with friends. Imagine, you have mental health issues. You cannot share it with your friends. You cannot
No,
share
but
it with
Ashwin
other
was
faculty.
told not to share the verdict with his family.
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah. In fact, his mentor, who was very actively involved in the situation, was also told not to share it with family. So, I mean, this is not objective truth. I'm going based on whatever I've heard from faculty and from students. But the university is not not conveying any information. So this is what we know. Okay, you can talk to whoever
Okay,
you
so
want
has
to,
the
and you can.
university till now given the family or given to you a valid explanation for whatever has happened? Have they
No, no, they haven't.
spoken to you now?
It's been over 20 days after my brother took his life. They have not told that. You see, we want to know what has led to him taking his life. Okay, they have not even informed us that a disciplinary committee inquiry happened. Forget about the contents and the committee who forms it. They have not even told this to us. Okay, and they are like, okay, see, someone has taken their life. At least soon after, you can tell us what circumstances that led to up to this. It's been 20 days. They have not said anything, and they
Yes,
actually
obviously,
got
but
in
also
contact.
Ashish, what I believe is, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you here, but what
Yeah,
I
sure.
believe is, because also I've been a student as well. Uh, whenever there's a case like this, a disciplinary committee is there and an investigation is going on, and you are holding a student guilty for breaking a particular rule. At the very initial stage, a particular guardian or some family member is informed that yes, this has been committed, this this rule has been broken by your child, and we are organizing a disciplinary committee, and these are going to be the further proceedings. Wasn't this the case with Ashwin this time?
No, no,
Didn't
no,
anybody from the university speak to anybody from your family and
no.
inform about the disciplinary committee?
No, absolutely not. In fact, he was very close to one faculty who was his mentor. I think she was a very nice person. She has been very close to him also. She was, I think, and in general, whoever knew about the disciplinary committee inquiry have been instructed not to inform anything to the family members explicitly. Also, I mean, just so you know, see, while fine, there's, I know for a fact there's a solid problem when 20 days later also they have not given an official report on what happened in the disciplinary committee. And I think there's a solid problem here because they themselves realize they don't have concrete evidence. This was like it's they just went out on a limb when they had to catch somebody or the other, and they just went after my brother and I guess somebody others also. This is the disciplinary committee is notorious for these kind of things because they operate without inquiry. There's no audio recording, there is no video recording, there is no student overseer, there's no accountability. So they can say whatever they want to, they can give whatever verdict they want to, and then there's nobody who's going to like check whether they have done the right thing or the wrong thing. So it's like a police state but without lawyers. So police can beat you up, but you can't go to the court and appeal for a process. So
And
yeah.
you still haven't received any valid explanation from the university till now. It's been
No,
more
we
than 30
haven't. In
days.
fact, they might see, my family is trying to do things. Obviously, we are in grief, we are in a lot of pain. We want explanation. So my father is going to travel from Hyderabad to Bangalore to speak to them. But it's crazy because they have not even given one email giving information about this disciplinary committee inquiry. There are some moral and ethical grounds. You got to be nice human beings at the end of the day. They're not. So yeah.
I mean, that's surprising. That is actually surprising. So, what are the options you're looking forward to now? Are you going to take some legal actions? Are you going to look towards the judiciary system to, at least get an valid explanation from the university and to know whatever happened with your brother?
See, I'll be honest, and I'm being very, very completely honest over here. Me and my family are struggling a lot. We are trying to cope with the loss of my brother, and we think that unless we think there is something solidly incriminating, we are actually not going to go through this with a case. We are not. We might have plans to, but we are not going to do this largely because this is a university. This is an establishment. It's run by a multi-billionaire, Azim Premji. Okay, like any realistic scenario is that we are going to have hell for a long time if we choose to pursue this through the court. My only claim is that if there's any changes that need to be made, the university needs to have a recognized student representative body that can fight for the rights of the students themselves. This is another fun fact. Azim Premji University does not have a recognized student representative body, where they can have a say in how the university runs. The university makes very tall claims for many years. As when I was a student over there, this was at least 4 to 5 years back. They prevented the formation of a student body. People have been drafting, people have been protesting. Azim Premji has a long university. I mean, as a university has a long history of suppressing student body formation. I think that's the only way to go about doing this, and our family doesn't have it in us to fight a court case. But yeah, we are sadly left with these options. We have no other ways
Yeah.
to
So the
proceed
only
with this.
two things you're looking forward to is to receive a valid explanation from the university and the formation of a recognized student body, so that these things do not, repeat themselves in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. See, the thing is, even if we go for a court case, the reality is that my brother's not going to come back to me. My parents' son is not going to come back to them. It's going to make life tough for all of us. Okay. I have certain demands. The university students have certain demands. So, please tune into what the students are saying. Please, care about them and no superficial things. Recognize the student body. That's my demand. That's about it. Yeah.
All right, Ashish, thank you so much for speaking to us. I'm very sorry for your loss, and yes, we wish you all the best for your journey ahead. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is a classic case of what poor circumstances one can lead to if you neglect the things, if there's no proper maintenance, if there's no proper system, I would rather say, in this modern world of education. Azim Premji University is a well-known university. Ashwin was studying BSc Mathematics honors, and he committed suicide on 10th of November. Yes, Ashish, his brother, believes that there were multiple issues, but there is still not a valid explanation given to the family by the university. It's been more than 20 days now. So this was it in this interview. Ashish, thank you so much for speaking to us. And again, I'm very sorry for your loss. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you in another video sometime again.